Welcome to my channel. I'm your mentor, Dr. Mandakini Soren, and today we are going to study Class 10 Biology, Chapter number 5, Life Process, Part 2. So, the topics that we are going to cover in this video, those are, first of all, Holozoic Nutrition. Then, we are going to study Nutrition in Amoeba and Nutrition in Paramaecium. Then next, Human Alimentary Canal, that will cover starting from mouth to anus, and also the functions of associated glands. So let us start. First of all, we are going to say what is Holozoic Nutrition. So I think in my previous video in part 1, those who ever have watched already, they know what is Holozoic Nutrition. And whoever they are new to my video or my channel, they can go and visit my previous video and they can learn what is Holozoic Nutrition. So about nutrition, we know there are 3 types of nutrition, that is Holozoic Nutrition, saprophytic nutrition and parasitic nutrition. So Holozoic Nutrition is where organisms feed by ingesting whole food. That means those type of organisms which feed on other organisms and they ingest the whole food. Okay, so here what happens in those type of organisms, the food is digested and absorbed inside the body of organism. So the digestion and absorption process inside the body of those organisms takes place. So for example, we can take like human, cow, dog, tiger, deer, elephant, anything, any organism rather than saprophytic or parasitic. Okay, or we can tell rather than saprophytes or parasites. So here we can include amoeba, even an amoeba, and paramaecium. Okay, so I think these 2 words are also very familiar with you. Okay, now we can study the flow chart of Holozoic Nutrition. So first of all, in case of those organisms, what they do is intake of food sources from the outside environment. Okay, so that is also called as ingestion. Okay, now when these food sources from the outside environment it enters into the buccal cavity, their crushing and then breakdown of those bigger food sources into smaller particles takes place. After that, those food particles it reaches to the stomach where the digestion process starts, we can tell. Yes, and then after the digestion process, what happens is the absorption of those nutrients, and then after absorption there occurs assimilation, because when the transportation of those nutrients from the large intestine from the small intestine to the different cells, it reaches to the different cells of the body. Okay, and this process will help in order to repair those damaged cells or tissues, and also help for proper functioning of the body, and also it helps in the growth and development of the body. Yes, and then after assimilation, we can see the last stage or last phase of Holozoic Nutrition, that is called as egestion, or we can tell that it is the process where the unwanted or undigested food are being removed out of the body of the organisms. Okay, okay, so that is called as egestion. Now let's move to the next part, that is nutrition in amoeba. सो आई थिंक सबको ये पता है कि एमीबा क्या है. ओके, सो एमीबा ये क्या है? ये एक यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म है जो कि फ्रेश वाटर इकोसिस्टम में पाए जाने वाले ऑर्गेनिज्म है. इसके पास सिर्फ सिंगल सेल है और इसी सिंगल सेल के अंदर आपको क्या मिलेगा? एक न्यूक्लियस मिलेगा, एक जो जेली लाइक सब्सटेंस मिलेगा जो कि हम साइटोप्लाज्म भी बोलते हैं. एंड उसके पास एक विशेषता है कि एमीबा के पास फॉल्स फीट है जिसको हम सीडोपोडिया भी बोलते हैं. और ये सीडोपोडिया इस एमीबा को क्या करते हैं? हेल्प करते हैं फूड्स को एनगल्फ करने के लिए, मतलब फूड को कैप्चर करने के लिए. और यस, ये हेल्प करते हैं इनको मूवमेंट करने के लिए. ठीक है, जब ये और एक जगह से दूसरे जगह तक पहुंचने के लिए ये सीडोपोडिया इस एमीबा को हेल्प करते हैं. ठीक है, अभी देखिए एमीबा में न्यूट्रिशन प्रोसेस कैसे होता है. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी कैन सी द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज विद द हेल्प ऑफ सीडोपोडिया द एमीबा कैप्चर्स फूड. ठीक है, तो एमीबा क्या करते हैं? सीडोपोडिया के हेल्प से वो फूड कैप्चर करते हैं. तो एमीबा अपने ही जैसे सिंगल सेल ऑर्गेनिज्म को क्या करते हैं? कैप्चर करते हैं. उनका फूड वही होगा. और ये जब एमीबा के पास आते हैं, इस डायग्राम में आपको देखने को मिलेगा, जब ये फूड पार्टिकल एमीबा के पास आते हैं तो ये क्या करेंगे? एमीबा अपने जो फॉल्स फीट है उसको फैलाएंगे. ठीक है, अभी जो सीडोपोडिया है वो एक क्या करेंगे? कैप्चर करने के लिए अब हम जैसे अपने हाथ को फैलाते हैं, ठीक है, वैसे ही ठीक उसी तरह वो अपने सीडोपोडिया को फैलाएंगे. फिर ये क्या करेंगे? वो सीडोपोडिया इसको कैप्चर करके एक वैकोल, फूड वैकोल बनाएंगे जो कि इस फूड को अंदर तक ले जाएंगे. ठीक है, बॉडी के अंदर तक ले जाएंगे. तो ठीक है, अब नेक्स्ट स्टेप देखिए, टेक फूड इन फूड वैकोल. यस, फूड वैकोल के अंदर इस फूड को ले जाएंगे. देन डाइजेशन ऑफ फूड इन फूड वैकोल. तो यहाँ पे इस फूड वैकोल में क्या होगा? डाइजेशन प्रोसेस होगा जो कि फूड पार्टिकल, बड़े बड़े फूड पार्टिकल को क्या करेंगे? यहाँ पे एक एंजाइम के हेल्प से वो एक एंजाइम रिलीज करेंगे. अभी जो बड़ा बड़ा फूड पार्टिकल है उसी को एकदम सिंपल फॉर्म में वो ब्रेक डाउन करेंगे. अभी देखिए, डिफ्यूजन ऑफ सिंपल सब्सटेंसेस इन द साइटोप्लाज्म. तो फिर ब्रेक डाउन करने के बाद जो भी न्यूट्रिशन है वो क्या होगा? न्यूट्रिएंट्स है वो जो कि जेली लाइक सब्सटेंस है बीच में. ठीक है, न्यूक्लियस तो एक सेंटर में ही रहेगा, जो जेली लाइक सब्सटेंस है उसके बीच में, जो प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन और न्यूक्लियस के बीच में. सो उसी के अंदर क्या होगा? डिफ्यूजन प्रोसेस होगा जो कि वो न्यूट्रिएंट वहाँ पे चला जाएगा और इनडायरेक्टली उस एमीबा को जितना कि न्यूट्रिएंट्स है उस फूड पार्टिकल से मिल जाएगा. सो लास्ट में देखिए क्या होगा? अभी फॉर्मेशन ऑफ अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड. अभी जो जितना कि बचा कुचा वो जो फूड्स अनडाइजेस्टेड रह गया, जो कि बॉडी एब्जॉर्ब नहीं कर पाए, डाइजेस्ट नहीं कर पाए, अभी उस पार्टिकल को क्या होगा? अभी बाहर की तरफ एमीबा थ्रो कर देंगे. ठीक है, वही साइटोप्लाज्म से ही वो वेस्ट मटेरियल निकल जाएगा. सो इसी प्रोसेस को, जो एनगल्फिंग ऑफ फूड, इसी प्रोसेस को क्या बोलेंगे? इसी प्रोसेस को बोलेंगे एंडोसाइटोसिस. एंडो मतलब इनसाइड. ठीक है, इसी वर्ड को आप याद करके रखिए. एंडो मतलब इनसाइड. और जितना भी अनडाइजेस्टेड या अनएब्जॉर्ब फूड रह गए उस प्रोसेस को जो एक्सपेल करेंगे, जो फूड पार्टिकल्स को बाहर की तरफ, एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट की तरफ, तो इसी को बोलेंगे एक्सोसाइटोसिस। ठीक है, अभी हम पढ़ेंगे न्यूट्रिशन इन पैरामीशियम। सो पैरामीशियम क्या है? एमीबा और पैरामीशियम में क्या अंतर है? अभी देखिए, एमीबा एक ऑर्गेनिज्म है जो कि फ्रेश वाटर इकोसिस्टम में पाए जाने वाले हैं, ठीक है, और पैरामीशियम भी एक ऑर्गेनिज्म है जो कि फ्रेश वाटर इकोसिस्टम में पाए जाने वाले हैं, ठीक है। अभी यहाँ तक तो ठीक है, सिमिलरिटीज है। फिर एमीबा एक सिंगल सेल ऑर्गेनिज्म है, यस। पैरामीशियम भी एक सिंपल सेल ऑर्गेनिज्म है, सिंगल सेल ऑर्गेनिज्म है, और यहाँ तक भी ठीक है। अभी देखिए, एमीबा में अगर आप देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे क्या है, डिफ्यूजन प्रोसेस होता है। यहाँ पे कोई आपको इसका एमीबा का मुंह या एनस नहीं दिखेगा आपको, ठीक है। वो फूड वैक्यूल के हेल्प से वो फूड डाइजेस्ट करता है, और साइटोप्लाज्म में डिफ्यूज होता है, और साइटोप्लाज्म से ही क्या होगा, जो अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड रह गया वो बाहर चला जाएगा। तो अभी क्या होगा, पैरामीशियम में क्या होगा, इसका एक ऑर्गन है जो कि हम बोलेंगे ऑरल ग्रुप। सो देखिए, हमारे केस में आप देख लीजिए, माउथ को हम ऑरल या बकल कैविटी भी बोल सकते हैं, ठीक है। अभी इसका माउथ क्या है, ये ऑरल ग्रुप है, ठीक है। और यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं एनल पोर भी है, जो कि अनडाइजेस्टेड फूड मटेरियल बाहर में निकालने के लिए ये हेल्प करेंगे। अभी देखिए, पैरामीशियम में क्या होगा, इसके पास एक विशेषता है कि इसके पास हेयर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स है, जो कि बॉडी सरफेस में आपको देखने को मिलेंगे, ठीक है। अभी फर्स्ट स्टेप देखिए, विद द हेल्प ऑफ सीलिया दे कैप्चर फूड। सो इसी हेयर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर को क्या बोलेंगे, सीलिया, ठीक है। सो जब फूड मटेरियल्स, फूड पार्टिकल इस सीलिया के पास आएंगे, ठीक है, अभी ये सीलिया क्या करेंगे, अभी इसको पुश करेंगे, इस फूड पार्टिकल को पुश करेंगे, पुश करके ये ऑरल ग्रूव के अंदर चला जाएगा। सो नेक्स्ट स्टेप आप देखिए, फूड एंटर्स थ्रू द ऑरल ग्रुप। अभी फूड क्या होगा, ऑरल ग्रुप से अंदर की तरफ आएगा। अभी थर्ड पॉइंट देखिए, यहाँ पे क्या होगा, जैसे कि हम लोगों ने देखा कि एमीबा में जब फूड पार्टिकल जब एंटर करने के समय एक वैक्यूल फॉर्म करते हैं, फूड वैक्यूल फॉर्म करेंगे, तो यहाँ पे भी सेम केस होगा, फूड वैक्यूल फॉर्म करेगा पैरामीशियम। सो यहाँ पे ही क्या होगा, फूड वैक्यूल के अंदर ही क्या होगा, डाइजेशन प्रोसेस होगा। सो डाइजेशन ऑफ फूड इन फूड वैक्यूल, सो नेक्स्ट स्टेप होगा। फिर नेक्स्ट स्टेप देखिए, diffusion of simple substances in the cytoplasm. So similar with the amoeba, so here also diffusion of simple substances in the cytoplasm it takes place. Afterwards what happen, undigested food move out of anal pore. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा, जितना भी undigested food रह गया, so वो anal pore से बाहर निकल जाएगा, ठीक है। ओके, अभी हम नेक्स्ट टॉपिक में जाएंगे, जो कि है ह्यूमन डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम। अभी अगर हम एमीबा और पैरामीशियम के बारे में बोलेंगे, तो वो उन दोनों का क्या है, बहुत ही सिंपल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, क्योंकि इन दोनों का क्या है, उन लोगों का बॉडी सिर्फ सिंगल सेल से ही बने हुए हैं, ठीक है। इसीलिए उन लोगों का जो न्यूट्रिशन प्रोसेस है वो भी बहुत सिंपल है इन कंपैरिजन टू ह्यूमन डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम। अभी ह्यूमन में क्या है, ह्यूमन बींग्स वो है मल्टी सेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म। सो मल्टी मतलब more than one. अभी ह्यूमन बींग्स में जो कि एक से ज़्यादा कोशिकाएं हैं. So millions and millions of cells are there inside our body. So what happens is those cells, they combine together to form tissues. Those tissues, they combine together to form organs will combine together to form organ system, and those organ system will combine together to form body of an organism. So that means all those functions that we are performing, those are very complex one, and also the structure and organization of human beings or other animals is also a very complex one. So let me explain you this human digestive system. You can just see what does this consist of. So first one, you can see the alimentary canal. So alimentary canal, what we call is that starts from right from our mouth till anus. Okay, that means right from where we where the ingestion process takes place and the egestion process takes place. Yes, to the egestion process. Then what type of glands are associated with the alimentary canal? So those associated glands are the salivary glands, the liver, and the pancreas. Now let me help you to study more in details. Okay, now let us move to the diagram. So as you can see, the human alimentary canal right from the mouth till the anus. Okay, so here you can see the liver, the pancreas, those are the associated glands. Here you can find the salivary gland inside the buccal cavity. Okay, now this is the complete diagram of the human alimentary canal. So this diagram is very important, very important, as because it might come in your exam. Yes, because yes, I can correlate. Sometimes in the exam it comes the diagram of this human alimentary canal, and the you are to denote where what type of glands or what type of organs are placed where. Okay, so better if you practice this diagram in your home. Okay, now let's move to the later part. So first of all, let me explain you when when we take food particles from the outside environment, so that process is called as ingestion. So in Holozoic Nutrition already we have studied the flow chart of the nutrition process. So first step that will take place is ingestion, that means intake of food particles from the external environment. Yes, and then this first of all we take the food particles in our mouth, that is also called as the buccal cavity, and the buccal cavity or the mouth will consist of the teeth, tongue, and salivary gland. Yes, the teeth which helps in chewing and also crushing of the food particles, tongue which helps in swallowing, salivary gland which consist of salivary amylase, that is one enzyme which converts starch into maltose. Okay, so let us see, when we ingest a food particle, then inside the buccal cavity what happens is with the help of our teeth, the chewing and crushing of the food particles into smaller ones takes place. But here what type of enzyme helps is the salivary amylase. Yes, there are two salivary glands. Okay, there are two salivary glands that you can find in the inside our mouth. or the buccal cavity, and these two salivary glands will release what? Saliva. Yes, you can find the saliva, and this saliva will consist of one enzyme that is called as salivary amylase, and this salivary amylase will help in the chewing and crushing. It will make the food very moist, and which will rather help in chewing and crushing of those bigger food particles into smaller particles. And after the chewing and crushing process will take place, what? Swallowing process will take place, and it will be carried out by the with the help of tongue, and this tongue will help in swallowing of those food particles, and that means maltose, and then those food particles will reach to the food pipe. Okay, to the food pipe, that is also called as the esophagus. Here in the esophagus, what happens? Contraction and relaxation of muscles, that is also called as peristaltic movement. So in the esophagus, what happens? Let me show you by drawing the diagram. So suppose this is the esophagus or the food pipe. Here repeatedly contraction, so contraction and a relaxation of those muscles will take place. Okay, that means have you seen a rubber band? If you pull the rubber band, that means it is relaxing, and then if you leave the rubber band, that means it is contracting, and that movement is called as peristaltic movement. Now when the food particles, maltose, it comes from the buccal cavity to the food pipe, what happens is when the contraction and relaxation takes place here, then the muscles will move the food particles forward, okay, to the forward direction, and in this way the food particles will move forward. Yes, from the esophagus to the stomach. Next is the stomach. Now see, in the stomach there are gastric glands, and those gastric glands will secrete gastric juice, and that gastric juice it consists of pepsin, hydrochloric acid, and mucus. So these are the three enzymes that are present in gastric juice, and this pepsin, it helps in the breakdown of protein, okay, breakdown of different types of proteins. And then but what happens is the breakdown of protein will takes place only when the gastric juice will create acidic medium, and that acidic medium will be provided by what? By HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. So now when the hydrochloric acid is released in the stomach, then the pepsin will get activated, and this pepsin, when it gets activated, it breaks down the protein particles. Now this hydrochloric acid not only provides the acidic medium, but it also helps in killing bacteria and other germs or any viruses that comes along with the food particles. Okay, now when this hydrochloric acid, it creates acidic medium, so in order to protect the stomach, or in order to protect the body from the effect of the acid, the gastric juice will secrete mucus, or it will release mucus that will protect the inner lining of the stomach. Now after somewhat breakdown of those protein molecules or protein particles, then what happens is the again peristaltic movement occurs here in the stomach. So let me show you. Suppose this is the stomach, okay, here also what happens? Continuous contraction and relaxation of those muscles takes place. Okay, so when food particles are being digested here, somewhat digestion or breakdown takes place in the stomach, then what happens is the contraction and relaxation of the muscles of the stomach will move the food particles, again move the food particles to the forward direction, and then it will reach the small intestine. Then here in the small intestine, what happens? When the food particles are staying here in the small intestine. So small intestine, why is it called small? Because it has a very small diameter, okay, but the length of the small intestine is very long in comparison to large intestine. Only the diameter is small, so that it is called as small intestine. So length will be, I think, near about 5 to 7 meter long. Okay, yes, too much long. And the large intestine, the diameter of the large intestine is very large, so it is called as the large intestine, but it is a very shorter one. It has a shorter length. Okay, so now here, when the food particles are staying in the small intestine, what happens is the liver, it helps the small intestine. How? The liver secretes a juice that is called as bile juice. Okay, and this bile juice is stored in the gall bladder. Okay, it is stored in the gall bladder. As and when required, the gallbladder, it releases the bile juice. Now the liver is secretes the bile juice, and then this bile will help in the emulsification of fats. That means the fat molecules will be broken down with the help of bile juice. Then next is the pancreas. The pancreas are also the associated glands that release pancreatic juice. Okay, so and the pancreatic juice, which consists of 3 types of enzymes, that is amylase, trypsin and lipase. Then amylase, what it helps in digestion of carbohydrates, that is breakdown of carbohydrates. Then trypsin, it helps in the breakdown of proteins, and lipase, it helps in the breakdown of fats. Now see, digestion of protein already occurred here in case of stomach. Yes, when the gastric juice gets released by the gastric gland, it consists of pepsin, and with the help of the acidic medium, the pepsin gets activated, and then breakdown of protein takes place. Yes, but some protein molecules are being left to be digested. Here the trypsin helps the latter part again to digest it. Now the digestion of carbohydrates will take place with the help of amylase. Then digestion of fats will be done by lipase. So this is not the final process of digestion, but the final process of digestion will take place with the help of intestinal gland. Now this intestinal gland, it secretes intestinal juice. Okay, and this intestinal juice helps in the final digestion of food. So the small intestine also contains intestinal gland, and it secretes intestinal juice, and that intestinal juice will help in the breakdown of the carbohydrates into glucose, then breakdown of proteins into amino acid, and breakdown of fats into fatty acid and glycerol. Now see, here in the small intestine you can find villi. Okay, villi are what? They are finger-like projections that are supplied with blood vessels. So villi, in case of villi, when we tell about villi, you can see, suppose this is the small intestine. Okay, and you can find villi in both sides walls of the small intestine. Okay, I am drawing only in one side. Suppose these are the villi, finger-like projections, and these are supplied with blood vessels. Okay, these finger-like projections are supplied with blood vessels, and these blood vessels will directly be connected to the main bloodstream. Okay, now when the food particles that are being broken down, the final digestion takes place. So carbohydrate into what? Carbohydrate into glucose. Okay, and then protein into amino acid, and then fats into fatty acid and glycerol. These food particles are being stored here. As and when the food particles are stored here, then what happens is the absorption of those food particles into the villi. Okay, into the villi. So these food particles will move into the villi, the finger-like projection, and then it will move to the blood vessels, and from the blood vessels it will reach to the main bloodstream. Okay, so that means blood vessels to the main bloodstream, and from the blood to the different cells of the body. And when it reaches the different cells of the body, these cells will release or produce energy, and also what happens is growth and development of the body, and also to perform various functions. Now those food particles that are not being absorbed or that remain undigested, it will remain here. Okay, no absorption of those food particles, and then these food particles will be transferred to the large intestine. Now what happens in the large intestine? Now the large intestine will see if something is left to be absorbed. Nothing is left, but yes, the large intestine can absorb the water content. So whatever water is left in the food particles, unabsorbed or undigested food particles, so the water will be absorbed by the large intestine. After absorption of water, the foods will be transferred to the rectum. Okay, now what happens in the rectum is temporary collection of the waste material. Now it becomes a waste material, and this waste will be collected for temporary basis, and as and when we feel the urge to let the waste material out of the body, so it will be moved through the anus to the outer environment. Okay, so this is the complete digestion process in case of human being. So I think every one of you have understood. So this is a little bit harder part. Okay, so if you continuously go on studying, then it will be a very easier one. And yes, please do not forget to draw the diagram. Okay, this will be or this will help you. Now if you like my video, then please subscribe my channel. If you are new to my channel, please like my video, subscribe my channel, don't forget to share, and thank you for watching.